Hello students, welcome to the third part of your first chapter of science, the living world. In your previous class, we have discussed about two important living characteristics. That is, two important characteristics of living beings. The first one we learned was that living beings are made up of cells. Both plants and animals are made up of cells. They may be made up of either one cells or they may be made up of number of cells. The second important characteristic what we learnt was living beings respire, means living beings breathe. In this session, we shall learn about another important characteristic of living beings, that is living beings eat food. In this video, we will learn about the food habits of animals as well as plants.
Living beings eat food. Living beings perform many activities daily such as wood cutting, carrying loads, hunting, etc. To do all these works, living beings need energy. They get this energy through food. So everyone should eat healthy food, okay?
Food is an important source of energy. We get our requirements through various foods like carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, minerals and water. All these nutrients which form a part of food are required for energy. Energy is needed for growth and growth is needed for development. For all the work we do, like earlier we saw cutting of wood, hunting or lifting a bag, or even simple works like sitting in front of a computer and working, lifting a weight or mopping the floor, all activities require energy. And where do we get this energy from? We get this energy from food. So, the important characteristic of living beings is living beings eat food. Both plants as well as animals, they require food for energy, growth and development. Here we have an activity. Here there are names of some living things. They help us to work. Now we shall see how do they help us. For example, an elephant. You know, an elephant helps us to carry loads. In forest areas and all, it helps to carry heavy logs of wood. The next one is bullock. A bullock helps in carrying load and it's even used for transportation in rural areas. The next one is dog. Dog, as you all know, guards our homes. It helps our homes to be safe. So these are some of the animals that help us in our work. Even these animals also need energy to do this kind of work. And where do they get the energy from? They get the energy from food. We shall now first see about the food of plants. Each part of a plant does one or the other activity. Don't they also need food? How do plants obtain their food? Think. Yes, green plants produce their own food. That is why green plants are called as autotrophs. Every part of a plant has got an important work to be done. They also require energy to do food. And how do they get their energy? Plants prepare their own food. And that is the reason green plants are called as autotrophs. Autotrophs means things which prepare their own food are called as autotrophs. Observe the picture here. There are four important components needed to produce food by the plants. One is solar energy, that is sunlight. Then we require carbon dioxide, that is present in the atmosphere. The next one is chlorophyll and water, mineral and salts. So solar energy, carbon dioxide, chlorophyll, water, minerals and salts. These are the important components that are required by a plant to prepare its own food. Plants use solar energy, carbon dioxide in the air. It absorbs water, minerals and salts from soil through roots and prepare food with the help of chlorophyll in leaves. This process is called as photosynthesis. Now we shall see how making use of solar energy, carbon dioxide, water, minerals and salts from the soil, and with the help of chlorophyll present in the leaf, the plants prepare the food. We shall now see about the process of
which a plant uses raw materials like water, minerals, carbon dioxide in the presence of sunlight to synthesize the food. The synthesis of food takes place in leaves, which are the food factories of plant. Water and minerals are absorbed by the root from the soil. It is transported to the leaf by the pipe-like vessels which run from the root, stem, branches and leaves. Carbon dioxide is taken from air through small pores on the leaf. These small pores are called as stomata. They are opened and closed by guard cells. Sunlight is captured by the chlorophyll pigment present in the leaves. It is a green colored pigment present inside the chloroplast of the leaf. Now, by photosynthesis, photo meaning light and synthesis meaning to combine, leaves capture the solar energy and store it in the form of food. So, sun is said to be the ultimate source of energy. Photosynthesis releases oxygen, which is the principal element of life. When we see the process, carbon dioxide plus water plus minerals in the presence of sunlight with the pigment chlorophyll synthesize carbohydrates, which are the energy sources, and the oxygen, which is released into atmosphere.
Here's an activity that is given for us. Which from what is given below? Join the statements correctly and write. They have given us 4 important components from which we are supposed to write from where do we get them. They have given it like solar energy is got from green leaf. Is it true? No. Solar energy is got from sun. Then from where do we get water, minerals and salts? Water, minerals and salts, as we have seen, are available in the soil and not in the atmosphere. Where do we get carbon dioxide? Carbon dioxide is found in the atmosphere. And where do we get chlorophyll? Chlorophyll is got in the green leaves and not in the soil. So all these things are essential in the process of photosynthesis. Observe the pictures given below. How do these plants obtain their food? Here there are images of 3 different plants. The first one is sundew. Sundew is also called as Drosera. The next one is a pitcher plant. The pitcher plant is known as Nepenthes. And the last one is Uticularia. So these 3 plants, they eat insects. You'll be surprised. So far we have seen only animals eat insects. But even plants also, some of the plants also eat insects. And those plants that eat insects are called as insectivorous plants. I am sure you all will be curious to know how can plants eat insects. Let's see how do plants eat insects. We shall now see about a few insectivorous plants. The plant that you are seeing now is called as sundew. It has small tentacle-like substances on it. So when an insect goes, it immediately closes its tentacles and eat off that insects. These plants have got small liquid sticky like juices on them. So when an insect goes and falls on it, it gets struck in that sticky substance. And slowly the tentacles began to close themselves and thus that insect is eaten by that plant. This is how a sundew eats an insect. The plant that you are seeing now is called as Venus flytrap. It is having leaves that are wide open. It has a kind of smell in it that attracts that insects to come to those plants. Here you can see a housefly. That housefly insect is attracted by the smell. As soon as it goes, the leaves close off and then that insect gets stuck in that liquid juicy thing and it is digested by the plant. Sometimes a few insects are lucky enough to escape, but most of the times anything that goes into it immediately gets closed and the plants eats that insects. It is not only insects like house flies. Even these plants called as Venus flytraps, they even have the ability to eat even larger insects also. Like for example a lizard or a frog. Here you can see a frog being closed by the leaves of this. The next plant that you are observing is called as a pitcher plant. This pitcher plant has a opening. So as soon as any insect goes into that opening, it closes off its lid. There is a liquid jelly-like substance in that opening. So any insect that goes into it immediately falls into that liquid and it cannot come out. And then that pitcher plant will immediately close its lid. So far we have learnt about 3 insectivorous plants: sundew, Venus flytrap and a pitcher plant. So children, so far we have seen how plants like Drosera or the sundew, Nepenthes or the pitcher plant and how Venus flytrap plants prepare their own food. Though they prepare their own food, they depend on insects for nitrogen purpose. And these plants are called as insectivorous plants because they depend upon insects for nitrogen. You'll learn about more insectivorous plants in your higher classes later on. We have seen when food is prepared by the plants, glucose is produced and oxygen is released. We shall now write here the uses of these two for living beings. Glucose. Glucose is used as a source of energy. Glucose gives energy to the body. The next one is oxygen. Oxygen is used by human beings for respiration. So during the process of photosynthesis in plants, glucose is released and oxygen is released into the atmosphere. So glucose is used as a source of energy for the plants and the oxygen that is released is used by the human beings for respiration. We shall now see about food of animals. So far we have seen about food of plants. We have seen that plants prepare their own food. So they are called as autotrophs. Now we shall see about food of animals. Animals do not prepare their own food. They depend on plants and other animals for food. Therefore, animals are called as heterotrophs. Animals cannot prepare their own food. They have to depend upon either plants or animals for food. Therefore, animals are called as heterotrophs. Plants are called as autotrophs because they prepare their own food. Animals are called as heterotrophs because they depend upon plants and other animals for their food. All animals do not eat the same type of food. Based on the food they eat, animals are classified as herbivores, carnivores and omnivores. So all animals, they do not eat the same type of food. Based on the food habit that they eat, the animals are classified as either herbivores, carnivores and omnivores. We shall now see about them in detail. We shall firstly see about herbivore. Animals that eat only plants and plant products are called as herbivores. So what are plant products? Plant products are roots, nuts, leaves, fruits, vegetables. They all are plant products. So So there are certain animals that eat only plants and plant products. Those animals are called as herbivores. Examples of herbivores are horses, rabbits, koala bear, cow, giraffe, zebra. They are all examples of herbivores. We shall now see about carnivores. Animals that eat other animals are called as carnivores. So there are certain animals that eat other animals and insects, and they are known as carnivores. So what are the examples of carnivores? Examples are lion, tiger, cheetah, shark, owl, alligator, wolf. They are all examples for carnivores. We have seen that plants eating animals are called as herbivores. Carnivores are those animals that eat the flesh of other animals. So, what are omnivores? Omnivores are those animals that eat both plants as well as animals. The best example of omnivores are human beings themselves. We people eat both plant products as well as animals and animal products. A bear, it eats fish, it even eats fruits and nuts. Pigs also eat insects, they also eat nuts. Hen eats grains and cereals, it even eats insects. Similarly, there are many animals which eat both plants and animals, and they are called as omnivores. So far we have learned that based on their food habits, animals are divided into herbivores, carnivores and omnivores. Animals that eat plants and plant products are called as herbivores. Animals that eat flesh of other animals are called as carnivores. And animals that eat both plants and animals are called as omnivores. With the help of these pictures, list out herbivore, carnivore and omnivore in the chart given below. So far we have discussed about what are herbivores, carnivores and omnivores. They have given us a few animals. So first one is a lion. A lion is a carnivore. A tiger is a carnivore. An elephant is a herbivore. A fox is also a carnivore. A bear is a omnivore because it eats both animals as well as plants. A sparrow also is an omnivore. A dog is an omnivore. A parrot is an omnivore. A rabbit is a herbivore. A cat is a omnivore. So children, so far in this session we have learnt about the third important characteristic of living beings, that is living beings eat food whereas non-living beings do not eat food. Then you have learnt about the process of food in plants, that is the process of photosynthesis. We have also learnt about the food habits of animals and how animals are bifurcated as herbivores, carnivores and omnivores based on their food habits. We will continue with the next characteristics of living beings in your next session. Till then, have a nice day. The process by which green plants make their own food from carbon dioxide and water by using sunlight or solar energy is called photosynthesis. So, green colors of a plants, they have got a substance